I got an emergency preparedness because I read a book, 1 Second After. And in the book, all hell broke loose because of an EMP attack. So that's an electromagnetic pulse that detonates in the Earth's atmosphere and creates a blackout. There was a part in the book where the hero, he realizes that he wished he would have gotten prepared more. And I'm like, well, I don't want that to be me, so I started preparing. I am a retired New York City fireman. I run a group here in New York City called the NYC Preppers Network. It's city preppers. The disruptive event that could be happening, guys, I don't think it's... Every time Putin opens his mouth, I get an influx of people joining. And then nothing happens for a while and people drop out. Anyway, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. The biggest misconception is that we're all crazy, or rather, that we're all waiting for the apocalypse, right? And so clearly the apocalypse, the end of the world, whatever you want to call it, if that does happen, it doesn't matter how much prepping you do or how prepared you are for the situation, it's the end of the world. We're just ready for basic things like earthquakes, tornadoes, things of that nature, maybe financial collapse. Has any of these things happened? Yeah, earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, bad winter storms. The idea of the group is to get people reliant on themselves and not coming downstairs to stand on a line for water or food like we saw in Sandy and Irene. So you don't want to be that person, though everything was in order. Imagine chaos and you have to wait online for an MRE box. You are definitely, undoubtedly going to get mugged before you get back home. Listen, there are people who started preparing because they thought The Walking Dead was going to happen. You know, one side of me says, well, if they got prepared because a TV show, good for them, as long as they grew up. I was preparing for an EMP attack. Now I'm prepared for all of it, right? With the exception, again, for meteor the size of Texas smashing into us, there's no preparing for that, right? Maybe spiritually, but not, you know, not supply-wise. My major concern is another depression. That is going to make the 1929 depression look like a walk in the park. Only 50 of them, I guess, joined the program. I have a YouTube channel, The Angry Prepper. It's not like I'm yelling at the people in the group, like, get it together, you bag. It's not like I'm doing that. The Angry Prepper just came from a guy in the firehouse, actually, because he calls me angry. And I couldn't use the black prepper because it was too on the nose. And the chocolate prepper, me and the wife laughed at it. The Angry Prepper just made sense. I mean, am I really angry? Probably. There's a million things you could be angry about. I mean, listen, 9 times out of 10, I'm not. I'm not walking around stewing. The downside to being a prepper is, especially people who have family who, you know, make fun of them, but in the back of their head, they're like, well, man, if this does fall apart, we know Jim has enough food to support us. Then you go over to Jim's place when it collapses, and Jim's like, kick rocks. You guys thought this was funny. No, it's not. And Jim's going to tell you, I only have enough food for 3 years for my family. Now, if Jim's a good guy, he's going to let them in, and he's going to adapt accordingly. If Jim's a he's going to sit there and tell them, beat it. A lot of us will help, even though it's against our better interest.
Community is so important. Without community, you're in and always will be in a place of survival until your skills are so good that you become this wilderness ninja, right? But no, it's community. And there's also laughter and joy within the community, and that's important.
You know, we are the most underdeveloped species of animal on the planet. You know, we are filled with ego, and our intellect thinks that we are superior. We are so new. You don't have fur. You have to wear clothing. You have to rob the fur off another animal in order for you to live on this planet. Holy now we make textiles and things, right?
Our primary focus is to pass off the primitive skills.
Come on up here, folks.
You know, there's the cardinal skills, which are the shelter, water, the multitude levels of fire making, the plant world of the edibles, medicinals, utilitarian. the hunting and the trapping parts of the tracking science, healing arts, and the presence and the awareness skills and the cognitive development arts, the movement skills, those shadow skills, the higher forms of all of these things. That's what this place is. It's a home for those skills and a home for people that want to come and train and have a safe place to do it. Classic design is the 2 Y sticks, classic design, with the long ridgepole, twice the length of them. If this is the case, I've got the person in here, right? Things that I hear in the school from students of, why do they come here? Well, it's the current affairs, and the current affairs exist on the same things that we can always count on conflict. Religion, politics, finance, war, nonsense. So there's 2 worlds to this. There's the urban emergency preparedness, and then there's the wilderness survival. Let's talk wilderness survival first. They're not panicking. There's no doomsday talk or Armageddon kind of things. It's on people's minds for sure, because I think they're starting to realize of how volatile our systems in our modern place actually are, be it the electricity, the food operations, and so on. It's very delicate. People are coming out to answer those unknowns. Coming out and joining the circle around a fire once again, as we once did.
All right, you got 3 minutes. I think people are really starting to reconnect to nature and their relationship to nature, whatever that looks like for them. All right, time. There are some folks that come who are nervous and have like an environmental anxiety and want to, you know, feel that they're prepared for whatever could potentially happen, right?
So we don't add anything to it. And we don't need this because NASA can see it. So how big of a fire do we actually need? You know,
years ago, it was sort of a machismo, full of ego, nonsense, you know, soldier of fortune, idiot, you know, and like the doomsday prepper kind of person as well. That's shifted drastically. Now it's everyone. It's families, it's elders, it's young kids. One of the fastest growing demographics we've had in the past 3-4 years has been women.
I'm one of the volunteers here at Mountain Scout. I am also a wilderness first responder, and I'm also an EMT by trade. I was working in hospice care during the pandemic, and I needed to get away, and that's when I kept finding myself in the woods more than usual. And every time I went out, I wanted to know more and more about how I could bring less and less with me and feel more and more confident on the landscape without, you know, all of this technical equipment. So I looked, I searched, and I found Mountain Scout.
You don't have to put it in the ground at all. You can literally just set it. You just, yeah, those things, you just lean them. I know we have a bunch of sticks lying about, but yeah.
I think COVID really accelerated a lot of things because it really kind of laid bare a lot of the systemic issues. And if there was one time where we were all going to come together and do something for the greater good, it felt like that would have kind of been it. And it really just kind of fractured us even more in a lot of ways.
We have the imaginary idea of what the shelter's supposed to look like. But
oh my God, you need to build it 3 feet.
This is not effective at all right now. We are so not even done. Oh yeah, the rain comes in, and you kidding me? The rain is just going to push this right down.
Yeah.
So we have to build this 3 to 4 feet for summertime. Whoa. Summertime, okay? Now look in the door. Yeah. Looking through the door now, this was the question you were asking before. Can I make this for 2 people or a family? Yes.
I don't really have faith in us to fix the systemic issues. I think there's hard times coming, and a lot of us well-to-do people in North America have kind of been shielded from a lot of it.
So the debris on the outside is...
We've known about so much of this stuff for decades and haven't done anything about it, and now it's going to take such drastic actions and we can't even get on board with the smallest little first steps. So that definitely worries me. But yeah, I mean, we only have a limited time on this earth anyway, and I try to zoom out and keep the proper perspective. And even if we created this ideal society, that would one day crumble, and you know, nothing's gonna last forever. So I think it's it's important to keep things in perspective and try to make the best of it.
It's producing the dust that we need. So now people should also keep this in mind. It's one thing to be prepared and to be concerned about all of these things, but please go enjoy yourself, have an apple, enjoy some ice cream, have a strawberry, look at the sunset, go skip a stone, live your life. Go have fun. Have fun knowing that you took the time and you're responsible and you made contingency plans in case something goes weird. But don't stay in the world of paranoia or be in the world of prepper kind of a mentality. Live your life. Enjoy the loved ones. Go adventure.
This is a dream for a lot of people to come and see the reef. They've saved a lifetime to come here, and they're showing them it, seeing how they appreciate it. It is quite an amazing entity.
It was on our bucket list. I took up the Great Barrier Reef.
It's a dream come true. Never thought it would happen. Once in a lifetime experience.
We got our first boat in '96, and we've been running operations ever since.
With our little 16-meter sailing boat, we were actually diving 2-3 times a week together. And that was our passion, just to be under the water together and then showing people the amazing Great Barrier Reef. When we first arrived, there wasn't so much, I guess, talk about climate change and in those early days. It was already a poster child as well, but for the good, It was an amazing icon in the world, and it was a bucket list for everybody to visit. And then over the years, I guess, you had a little bit of media coming in.
Are you okay? If you are okay, tell me.
A lot of people come here thinking, oh, I better see it before it disappears. They also come with a misconception of what it should look like. I'm afraid Hollywood didn't do us any favors by showing us the best you could ever see. You will find that, but it's not everywhere.
I wanted to do the coral reef, and also I want to see some whales and dolphins, maybe in the south. Let's see. But the coral reef was very important for me. Also because I know it's an ecosystem that is in danger, so I want to see it before it's gone. I hope it's not gone.
I definitely think seeing stuff before it goes away, while you can still see the majority of it, is important. And taking steps to make sure that it doesn't disappear.
Being able to go dive on the Barrier Reef is quite spectacular, because I've grown up watching David Attenborough documentaries as well as stuff on YouTube about the Great Barrier Reef and how it used to look before climate change and all that sort of happened. I found it quite interesting to see how it has changed and how it actually looks when it isn't going through filters.
We've had 4 mass coral bleaching events in the space of 7 years. This is much more frequent and severe than what has happened in the past. It's caused by climate change, which exacerbates heat waves and leads to stress on the corals.
Great Barrier Reef being the poster child for climate change. I mean, the doomsday, I think that's not just about the Barrier Reef. I think there seems to be this notion in the world at the moment about everything. If you connect somebody to the Great Barrier Reef, if you explain you don't throw a bit of plastic there because it looks like a jellyfish for the turtle to eat. If you give that a meaning, then, you are going to have people coming off and thinking, oh, I might, not use plastic anymore. If you're just making everything so hopeless in this world, which everything seems so hopeless in this world, well, what has the poor young generation coming through got to live for? Nature is very strong, very resilient. We've just got to give it a little bit of help sometimes and stop putting rubbish everywhere.
It's one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, and I can see why. It's huge and it's beautiful. This just reinforced the fact that it needs to be protected at all costs.
People said, it's different now with the change in the ecosystem. So I'm glad I got to see it, if it is actually going away. Hopefully not,
I'm also worried that we're too far, but let's not get into that.
If you learn about something, it's easier like to care.
Anyone should do it, everyone should do it. And then I feel if more people saw it, then they would care. Be like, this is something we're protecting.
今世界に起きていることを私は悪いことだとは考えてないわけです。それは人類というのは特殊な生き物として地球上に生まれてきましたね。そして非常に短期間の間に地球環境、地球にこれほどの影響力を持っているわけですから、これは優れているということも言えるわけです。その優れているものが今現在、人間以外のものにたくさんの多大な迷惑をかけていることも事実ですね。
太陽のサイクルでいうと光のピークからね、私たちはずっと闇のピークに向かって進んできて、闇のピークに向かうということはどんどんその真実が見えなくなるということだから、その分離と戦いの時代をずっと私たち人類は歩んできました。で今闇のピークを越えて光のピークに向かって歩み出した時に、光が増えてくるっていうことはその真実がまた見えてくるということだから、過去に自分たちが正しいと思ってやってきたことがいかに間違いだったか。世の中にね、話すだけの人っていっぱいいるの。テレビのコメンテーターでもなんか大学の教授でも、こういうふうに生きることが大事ですよって、環境のためにはこうするといいですよって話する人いっぱいいるでしょ。でもじゃあ実際にそれやってるかっていうと、やってる人は本当に少ない。
25歳から会社を立ち上げて、一応会社の経営者でした。でそんな中で仕事の内容が建築の仕事でしたから、その仕事で生み出す産業廃棄物、それを発生させることにまず初めに疑問を持ったんです。人はもっと調和して、豊かに生きれるはずなのに、その物理的な豊かさを求めた結果、その求め方によって不調和が生まれてるっていうことに気づいて、あまり自分のやってる仕事に対して魅力を感じなくなったんです。30歳の頃にそんなことを考えるようになって、10年、後に、職業を会社を辞めて、それで2年間農業の勉強をした後、この富士山麓へ移住を決めたっていうことですね。でそこでは血縁を超えた家族として、暮らしがスタートしたんです。ですがメンバーはメンバーとして、ここで生涯を暮らすと宣言した人は90人ちょっとですね。でそれ以外に、ここに興味を持ったり、して、いろんな事情があってここに長期滞在している人がいて、だいたい通常100人ぐらいのコミュニティになってます。
ここではいろんな役割があって、畑の人もいれば、田んぼの人もいれば、キッチンさんで食事を作ってくれる人もいれば、みんなでそうやって自分の持ってる役割を果たして、私も畑仕事をしているんですけれども、家に帰ればご飯ができてるし、お風呂は沸いてるし、そうやってみんなで助け合ってやっていくことで、もっとみんなで共に暮らしているありがたさみたいなのをすごく感じて生活しています。 トとかもここで収穫したものをキッチンさんがパスタにしてくれたりとか、さらにそのものが良くなって力が手が加えられてお店に行ったりとかカフェで出すことができたり、こうやって変化させてさらにみんなで手をかけていくことによってお客様により安心で。
世界にこんな風に人間は暮らすことができるんだよっていうことを形に表して見せる。必ずできる。なぜならそれが人間にとって当たり前の生き方だから。
今現在52歳です。で、30年前にここに移り住んで、一番は自分の心をきれいにするために来ました。私はここに来る前に統合失調症っていう病気になってしまったんです。で、それを親がじいじに相談していて、じいじがいろいろ私にアドバイスしてくれて、そこから立ち直ることができて、今ここにいるということになってます。毎日こうやって富士山が見られるっていうのもすごくこれも豊かなことで。
富士山ってとても大事な山だからね、宇宙の英知が降りてくる山だというふうに言われてます。
300年に1回は噴火する富士山はもうすでにいつ噴火してもおかしくない状態です。で、同じようになぜそんなところへ行くのかということを何人かの人に聞かれましたけど、私はだから行くんですよって言いました。で、それが何を意味するかはまあ別のこととして、今現在その兆候はありませんね。もう誰でも必ず死にますからね。それは自分の思い通りに生きて死ぬわけじゃないんですよ。で、それは生きることも死ぬことも、要はこの生まれてきたことすら自分の手の中にないっていうことだから。全部いただいていくっていう考え方であれば恐怖はなくなります。世界がね、終わるか終わらないかは行ってみなきゃわからないですね。それを結論出すことはちょっと思考の暴走ですね。